Hey, hi everyone. Welcome back. So guys, as part of the today's session, we are going to talk about some concept which is a hooks guys. So what I'm going to do right now is if you remember the group tests, right, that we have created, we grouped the login functionality where in which you have a two tests inside of this particular group, which is log into a source demo. Let us take this application. This is the old script that we have created earlier. Log into the source demo with a valid credentials, log into the source demo with an invalid credentials. Let me expand this particular stuff, and if you look at this particular steps in which the first step, which is opening of a source demo application. If you look at it, basically opening of a source demo application. So what exactly this source demo application? This step is common across all the tests that we have here, maybe within the describe or without the describe. So consider that what I'm doing right now is copy the group test, paste it here, and I'm naming it as, okay, this is not a hooks example. Okay, so hooks example. So this is the thing. So as part of this hooks example, in this situation right now, I'm dealing with without this group. Okay, if you look at my test script, basically, it does has one login to a source demo where in which you are entering the valid credentials. This is one test, and the second test is entering an invalid credentials, two tests. And if you clearly observe, the common step between these two tests here is opening of a source demo application. This is the common step which is in the starting. And ideally, guys, we are not terminating the browser instance. Ideally, we need to use this page dot close in order to close the browser instance. Once after the execution got completed, we need to close this particular browser instance that we are not closing. Anyways, I have added this close also. So the point here is, if you look at this particular script, page dot close is common for the two tests, which is a post condition, and the precondition is opening this particular application, which is a precondition. So we have a precondition and a post condition. Precondition means that's the condition you need to satisfy before performing the action. See, in order to travel in a flight, basically the precondition here is having a flight ticket, right? Having your flight ticket is a precondition to travel into that. And once after you consider a bank account, so you have a transferred some amount from your bank account. As and when you have a transferred, the post condition is session out, logging out from your account. That's the post condition. Precondition, to perform an action, what action needs to be performed, which is the precondition. After this action, after completion of an action, what we are going to do, that's going to be a post condition. So as part of this particular test, as part of these two tests that we have here, okay, so the precondition here is, okay, the precondition here is open the sourcedemo.com, okay, source demo application, and the post condition here is close the browser. This is what the precondition and a post condition. So what this hooks is saying us means, hooks are saying that, okay, hooks are saying that instead of defining, okay, instead of defining pre and a post condition in each and every test, we can define it once in a hook, and automatically that will be called before that particular test. Okay, and the various hooks are before each, before all. So before is a precondition. Before executing this test, the before hook will be executed. After each, after executing each test, the content present in a after hook will be executed. Okay, perfectly all right. So what I'm gonna do right now here is to understand this concept in a better way. Okay, so let me create a new file, hooks example2.spec.ts, and in this I'm just copying this browser launch. Okay, I'm just copying this particular browser launch. Okay, import, okay, hooks, that's fine. Okay, so this is the thing. Yeah, so here What I'm gonna do right now here is this is the simple test that we have created, right? So to understand these hooks in a better way, I'm using console.log. Okay, console.log here. Um, Log into source demo with valid credentials. Okay, so this is gonna be my test name. Okay, this is gonna be my test name. And the same test, I'm copying it, I'm putting it here. Login with invalid credentials. Okay, login with an invalid credentials. Perfect. So guys, if you observe right now, this spec file contains two different tests in order to understand the content, right? So what I'm doing here is, okay, so what I'm gonna do right now here is, if you look at the before each, this before each will execute the content before each and every test. So there are two tests are there. Before executing these two tests, the content present in a before each will be executed. So here, test dot before each. Okay, and this is going to be async. See, my copilot is prompting me the suggestion. I'm just pressing the tab operation. I haven't done anything. I just press the tab operation and I ended it. That's it. And here, what I'm going to do right now here is console.log. This is before each hook. Okay, the same way, test dot after each. Okay, my copilot is prompting me that. I'm just pressing a tab operation and I'm just accepting that suggestion. So I haven't written this codes, guys. So if you clearly observe, we were utilizing the copilot features. That's it. Okay, the before each. What it does has, this is a before each hook. So what does the after each does has, this is an after each hook. Perfectly all right. Now, what is the script name here? Okay, I just copied my script name. Okay, I just copied my script name. Let me pull my, okay, let me pull my, okay, so this is my execution. This is what my spec file is. So I'm deleting this particular stuff and I'm just executing this one. Okay, I'm just executing this one. So I don't want, I don't have a browser in this, so I don't need a header. I just executed that. Okay, so it executed successfully. And let me look at this particular report. Okay, let me look at this particular report. Okay, so this is the report. And if you look at this particular report before a hook, okay, this is the test. If you go to all tests, so this is what my first test is. So if you observe, there are two tests: login with a valid credentials, login with a invalid credentials. Perfect. You have your two tests here. Select the first test, and if you look at it inside the before hook, so this before each got executed, after each got executed. Okay, before each got executed and after each got executed. Okay, and if you look at it, if you further expand it, basically this is the console.log that it got executed, and even after also the console.log got executed. Okay, before executing each and every test, the content present in the hooks got executed. So this before is executed for the login with the source credentials. If you come back, login with the invalid credentials, see the before hook is there. Okay, the before is there. Okay, and then here the after hook is also here. Okay, the before hook and the after hook, everything got executed successfully. So the ultimate point that we need to consider here is, whenever there is a hook, before executing each and every test, the content present in that hook will be executed. Now copy these hooks from the second example, go back to the first example, and on the top put it here. And here, as part of my precondition, I'm just adding and opening an application. I removed my closing the browser and I placed it here in the after hook. And in my test, I removed open the application and of course I removed closing the application. Both the things I removed from here. So the point here is login with a source application, right? This one, this is a valid credentials. Login to source application with a valid credentials. This doesn't have opening of the application and the closing of a browser. Whereas login with an invalid credentials also doesn't have the opening of an application and the closing. Both the things were not there. Now, let me try to run this particular script. So here, I'm using a headed right now as this is an action. So if you look at it, basically the browsers were launched, it is performing the operation on those browsers, and both the scripts were executed successfully. So the point here is before executing this particular test, the content present in the before each got executed. Okay, the content present in a before each got executed. And of course there is a before all also. If there are multiple tests are there, before executing all the tests, the content present in a before all will be executed. And at the same way, after or also, before after executing all the tests, the content present in a after all will be executed. Okay, so that's the thing. Okay, perfectly all right. And what I'm gonna do right now here is copy this hooks example test, paste it here, and I'm changing here as hooks example 3. Okay, guys, I just changed it with an example as a hooks example 3. Okay, let me close the other files. I just kept it here. I told you that this hooks will be applicable not only on not only on an individual test, this will be applicable on a describe also, right? On a describe also. So I just opened my group test. I just copied the syntax for the describe, which is a group, and I'm placing it here. Okay, and I'm placing it here, and I'm ending it here. Okay, and I'm ending it here. So which means my two tests, whatever we have, are inside a group. See here, whatever the tests are there, all those tests are inside the group. And the before each and an after each also, I moved to this group itself. Okay, I just placed my before each and an after each within this particular group itself. So this means this is a precondition and this is a post condition. Okay, this is a precondition and this is a post condition for this particular group of tests. Okay, this is the precondition and this is the post condition for the group of tests. Okay, perfectly all right. Now, let me try to run this particular program. So this name is hook 3. Okay, hooks example 3 headed. So if you run it, you don't see much difference. Basically, the same content will be executed. Okay, you don't see much difference. But the execution perspective, the difference here is for a group, you are defining a precondition. Like that, you can add any number of groups here. You have just one group, you can add two more groups, and for every group you can define a precondition and as well as a post condition, guys. Okay, perfectly all right. This is all about the hooks, guys. See you again in the next lecture with the next topic. Thank you. Bye bye.